Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending Intelligent Voices Israelites. Still trying to get my light right here. Put up my shade. Just give me a minute, everybody. That's what I want to talk about today. I'm not one too wide. All right, everybody. We're going to get started in a minute. We're going to be talking about America to Babylon. Continuing in this study. America this Babylon, right, y'all? I'm your brother, Israel Yeshambayah. Thank everybody for whoever checks the video out on this study. Shout out to all the brothers at the camps, sisters that's doing their part as well. All right, so we're going to just pick up. Before we do, we're going to give a prayer out to the Almighty Father, Yahweh Shai. I never have good lighting, guys. I just don't know why. But the main thing I want to do is just basically get information out to you guys. And therefore, everyone can take their stand against this Babylon, or to prepare yourselves for this coming war in Babylon. As I stated before, this will be her first war. So a lot of people, I don't know if they're ready or not, but if they ain't, they better get ready, right? So before we begin, let's go into prayer. Almighty Father Yahuwah, we thank you for joining and being with us today in the spirit. May our hearts continue to be in love and showing complete compassion throughout each and every day of our lives, because the spirit of you have now taken possession of us. We thank you so much, Father, for hearing our prayers and helping our friends and families around the world, and also supplying the needs of those who are in worse shape than that, to make sure that they hear you, Father, and do exactly what you want them to do, Father. These last days, these last generations are getting very much stronger and stronger, as we see there is many at war right now, and many things that are going on, as said in the historical record book called the Bible. So with that said, I set out my shaloms to everyone. I am your friend, your brother, Israel Yeshambayah, here at Intelligent Voices Israelites. Thank you. So now, as I have described or explained, let's get here. Clearly, the world government entities, y'all, will raise up to rule the world from Babylon City. Now, we know Babylon City is New York. And here it is. We know the ancient Babylon was in the times of Abraham. And here it is. We knew that Abraham came out of Babylon. Also, many of our captives' ancestors went into Babylon, as we check out Daniel. And then we also look at Habakkuk chapter 2, Revelation chapter 13, 17, and 18. So I advise all of y'all to read those chapters, because it's going to basically deliver you from not understanding, because here it is. It's going to supply you with the wisdom and the knowledge for understanding, because here it is. You are basically getting exactly what y'all actually want to show to all of those Israelites that are waking up. So here it is. For every little bit of information that is released, this helps another brother or a sister become wise in Yahshua. So the king of Babylon will rule the great city Babylon. Babylon turns upon its own people, right? And imprisons and slays them by the millions. Now, if y'all haven't caught our other video where we have showed the list of the internment camps that is spread throughout the world, I advise y'all to either request it from us or go check out that video, because here it is. When you see about the alert, you're going to actually understand what war and why it's coming. Because here it is. It's going to let everyone know that here it is. The anti-Yahweh Shah is on the rise and almost coming into prediction. That's right. And here it is. We are knowing that this Babylon totally turns on Yahweh and the people who serve Yahweh Shah. And we know that here it is. Babylon, here it is, imprisons and slays its people, because here it is. It become conformed under another entity, which basically is coming from another third world country. So when we see what is lining up now, this is correctly to allow us to see that, let's see here. And I took a note. Let me get my notes here. It clearly allows you to see that here it is the center for the world trade in gold, silver, copper, oil, precious gems, clothes, fashion, lumber, containeries, household items, furniture, wine, livestock, transportation, health products, cosmetics, spices, marble, and iron. So now there is no other city or nation. Just think about it. For all of those things that I just named, there is no other city, okay, or nation on earth that could fulfill these requirements, right? Because we just named third world countries. They're suffering, even China, Korea, right? So now we see that other than the United States fits the description. There are some who hold to the view to this passage, though, referring to only New York City. In fact, it refers to both New York City and the entire nation, right? The term city, okay, when you look it up in the Greek, it's translated, here it is in the Greek, means city or nation. So now when you see city, it's coming from the Greek, which means city or nation. In this instance, it refers to a term city, right? Because that's the translation, which was referring to a nation led by a what? Chief, or here it is, a ruler of that nation. Now, when we look at nations, they have a president. They have one ruler that rules the world, right? And here it is, that president runs that nation of people, right? So if you're in America, then your president will be either Biden or the becoming Trump. And here it is now, as we see, this man of prediction is tied back to a nation, right? So we know that the Bible is clearly telling us that in the end times, Babylon, the mystery, will be revealed. It won't be a mystery anymore, because in the instance, it refers to a nation led, like I said, by a chief or a president. And here it is. We can verify that the electives or the any elects is tied to a nation, which is New York City, right? So in some instances, it's talking about the electives, those who are being voted in. That's right, voted in to actually be able to be conquerors or to oppress the inhabitants of the world. So now we see this now about New York City and others, the nations itself. If you're not convinced, go back and look up your history, because here it is. It's going to allow you to see that what we're saying here, Intelligent Voices Israelite, is giving you the opportunity for prophecy again about the last great generation of nations on earth. Now, it's right in the scriptures. The Bible confirms that America is Babylon. That's right. And that the beast coming will rule from here. That's right. And will take over and destroy this country on their way to global rule from Jerusalem. Now, don't we see a mass annihilation going on between Iran now with Israel? But before, it was Palestine with Israel. And here it is, a Hamas, and then Gaza. Then the word says that all of these phenomenons of wars, rumors of wars, and nations against nations and kingdoms against kingdom in Matthew 24 was stated by Yahweh. So now here it is. It's starting to line up precept for precept for understanding with wisdom for knowledge, right? So now when you see this, the Bible confirms that America is Babylon, people, and that the beast coming will rule from this Babylon. That's right. And will overthrow and destroy this country on their way to global rule from Jerusalem. Now, ain't they trying to build a third temple? And it's almost, they say that it's complete, but right now I believe that it is complete. And all the videos that people are seeing online are just relooping and relooping and relooping, because they don't want to actually show anyone or actually allow anyone to know that the temple is basically finished. The furniture is being moved in, and here it is. It's being guarded as we speak. So for the coming of the electives. Now, didn't I just talk about a man tied to a nation? And here it is, the nation elects their chief or their officials, right? So now this is making sense that the Bible is not lying. The Bible confirms that America is Babylon and that the beast coming will rule, right? And it will be a global rule from Jerusalem. Now, as we see it, global rule means it stems from those 7 kingdoms that the beast or the man of prediction will actually go into a covenant with, right? And later on betray Israel, but at the same time, Israel is already being betrayed by her, because here it is, the eagle wings get clipped and then they get restored again. That's after she's taken, right? So isn't amazing that there's over 100, here it is, prophecies that only one superpower nation in the last days could fulfill, right? And the churches tell you today that America isn't mentioned in last days prophecy, which is totally insane if you ask me, because here it is. These people are not understanding that here it is, Yah, my father, your father, have already come back in every believer who truly loves him and loves his word of truth, right? So now neither does the Vatican fulfill these prophecies, Europe or anyone else, right? The only superpower now is the United States for a short while. And here it is, and in the last days, which we are in, right? The lone superpower of the world remains the United States. There isn't enough time for another nation to raise and fulfill all of the requirements and become a superpower of the world, because time is running out, everybody. So now when we look, many scholars claim that the Roman Catholic Church is Mystery Babylon based on one verse in Revelation chapter 17, right? That has been misunderstood by them. Many scholars, evangelists, and many others have truly misunderstood. So here it is. Mystery Babylon is, I tell you, your brother, Yisrael Yeshambaya, tell you that here it is in the last days prophecy and what the truth is in regard to them, right? Because when we look now, if we go to Revelation chapter 17, everyone, if you turn in your books, I'm sorry the light is a little dark, everyone in here, but here it is. We might be rain in the mountains. So here it is at Arizona. And this is basically all the light I can provide for right now. But the message is the truth. So now as we continue, I forgot to shut off my phone, everybody. So now as we continue here, it clearly allows us to basically go into that revelation and actually to see. I hope everyone got their phones, your amplified book or your physical book, because we're gonna go in here. But it's good your brother Shamba took the notes ahead of time for you guys, but therefore to make sure you write them down, take key notes too for yourself. So now let's look into Revelation chapter 17. Okay, when we look at Revelation chapter 17, we're going to be paying attention, everyone, closely to verse 1. So I want everyone to pay attention to close verse 1 and to make sure that you fulfill your understanding by, here it is, either leaving me a question, and therefore I will get it back to you, because this is a non-interaction video today. So now let's look at Revelation chapter 17. And it clearly says in verse 1, and there came one. He didn't say two. He didn't say three. He said, and there came one of the seven angels, which had seven vials. Now remember, in the scripture, there's seven around the throne of my Father. So now here are seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come here, and I will show you the judgment of the great whore, right? That sit upon many waters, right? So now John is getting a revelation from the angel, from one of the seven angels, okay? And here it is, they are explaining to John the things that is to come in the world later in the future, which is the future we're living in right now. So now we're seeing that here it is, it's been put in the Bible, and it has been clearly said that what is happening to, here it is, Mystery Babylon, which is now being revealed as America is the Babylon. We are seeing that the angel says, judgment of the great whore. I will show you unto you the judgment of the great whore. So now here it is, the angel is explaining to John exactly why this world would turn out the way it's going to turn out as it is now in the end times. He's allowing him to see or foresee before time, right? Apostle John is told by one, that's right, of the seven angels holding the seven vials, known as the seven bowl judgment, everybody. That's right. It's called the seven bowl judgment. And this is what we're looking at in Revelation chapter 17, right? Verse 1. And then it continues, as we know that he is going to show him. That's right. He's going to show John the judgment of the great whore that sits up on many waters, right? And then not only is he telling John that he's going to show him, but he wants him to understand the why factor. So when we look at the why factor, everybody, we clearly see, as you must know, as you are reading right now, you see the term whore, spelled W-H-O-R-E, right? So when we look at term whore, we have to go back to the Greek, right? which is in reference to porno. So now you understand that when you see the word whore, it stems from the word porno. So now later it became porno. So you might have remember, some of you who are a little older know about the sex stores and stuff, porno movies and all of these things. And this is basically showing you how whore went from whore to porn. So here it is. Not only did her judgments continue to add up, she continued to add more to herself, right? And he says that sit upon many waters, the term whore, right? And which is in English, we use for phonographics. So here it is. Phonographics is, which is Greek, is also used for improper sexual relationships. So when we look at pornographics is the definition, everyone, to allow you to understand that here it is. Not only are you participating in temptations of lust and also fornication, but here it is, it deepens the person by, here it is, lack of understanding. Because the more that you actually phonograph in your mind, it becomes improper sexual relations, right? In your mind. Now it's going into your heart. And then when it gets into your heart, people actually usually carry out the action, right? Because you first get the temptation, and then now here it is, you're going to do the action, right? Or the act of sinning, improper sexual relations, which could mean anything sexual. Some says, is it a limitation? No. Yahweh Shai is saying anything, that's right, sexual that occurs outside of a marriage. Because I just explained fornication. When you look up the word fornication in your dictionary, it gives you a scenario of pronouns, but when you look at the first one, it's usually giving you the definition of implications. Basically, improper sexual relations, which can mean anything sexual that occurs outside of marriage. So if two are not married and they're having improper sexual relation, that is breaking the law. That's breaking fornication. You are fornicating now. Okay. You're not waiting until you have found the right person. You're not waiting to make sure you are right with Yah or with your Bible sense. And here it is. You're not waiting at all, because here it is. You're anticipating something quick. So now when that happens, that create improper sexual relationships. And here it is. No one wants to mess with someone who's been used and abused, right? So here it is. You won't probably get many marriage proposals that way. So you must understand that Yah wants your moral conduct in check, because this is what has ruined her with phonographics, now porno, right? From whore to porno. Man. So now as we see, everybody, then the term could also be used worshiping another deity, right? In other words, idol worshiping. So Yah says, Yahweh Shai, say anyone who has broke my law, broke one of them, have broken them all, right? So that means that you must understand that you cannot be out sinning. You can't be out thinking of your own sense. You got to realize that you're under covenant, and this covenant is allowing you to stay graced with the spirit of Yahweh Shai. So now, when we see this now in Revelation chapter 17, it becomes understood a little better, hopefully, everyone, because now you're actually to see the wordplay and then the definition behind, here it is, some of the commitments that people have been falling victim to, which have led to them to be sinful. Another thought is the fact that the nations, everybody, has gone outside of Yah. That's right. And has aligned itself with someone else or something else, right? In America, Satanism and witchcraft have become dominant. That's right. Not to mention their alignments with aliens and the forces of Satan, right? Moach and reptilians, okay, in exchange for technology. America has over 129 deep underground military bases. Many, here it is, of them are being used as joint military alien bases. At least 32, including the Duluth base in Duluth, New Mexico, Area 51 in Nevada, La Amos in Ta, New Mexico, and many others across the country, everybody. The sentence, sit it. When you see that word, sit it, that's right, S-I-T-T, right? E-T-H, sit it upon many waters, which is a figurative, everybody. That's right. When you see the word in that scripture say, sitteth upon many waters, it is referring to a figurative for many people. So that's how you get nation. Whenever you look at anybody's nation, the Indians or Mexico or Puerto Ricans or Italians, they are considered a nation of people that's under, here it is, a certain city, and here it is, a certain administration. So now when we look and see this now, we understand that sitteth is a figurative to many people, right? So keep that in mind. When you see that, it means sitting on many people of the same nation. America is the melting pot of the world, as it states, as far as immigrations. Now, we have many immigration problems that have now occurred as the world have now similarly caught up to what Yahweh Shai was saying. And here it is, now many of the brothers and sisters who have been filled with the spirit of Yahweh Shai, here it is now allowing themselves to be used so Yahweh Shai can allow himself to explain the difference of your wisdom and knowledge and understanding to his, because the church have led you astray, right? And here it is, you have come to a country that sits or have many nations a part of her, right? It's a melting pot. And here it is, we are also surrounded by fresh waters from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific Ocean, the Great Lakes, and the Gulf of Mexico, right? Y'all know our history, not to mention the many lakes, streams, and rivers throughout the country. But the term I want to focus on, write this down, waters, W-A-T-E-R-S. Write that down, waters, and watch what happened to waters, because we just found out about many waters means a figurative of many people, right? Many different types of people, right? So now when we look, not to mention that waters is in relation to symbolism in Bible prophecies are usually, here it is, related always, everybody, to people. So when we see many waters and then we see waters, it is relating to many people or people, as I explained just earlier, as each state, country have their own electives, right? So now, with whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication, it says, right? This is verse 2, Revelation chapter 17. Because here it is, it clearly says, with whom the kings of the earth, here it is, have committed fornication. So it's talking about the men, okay? The men that was in covenant with Yah broke covenant. Esau's forefathers broke covenant. They turned a blessing into a curse. Okay. Revelation 17:2 says, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made what? Drunk. How do you be made drunk? When someone is drilling you over and over and over, like interrogation, which here it is the desires of man, though. They're drunk off themselves for the lust for themselves and others, with the wine of her fornication, which she provides them. See, she turned her daughters into whores. We found out daughters who are whores are basically now pornographic mindset. That means lust is constantly on the mind, right? Because it is seeped into the heart. Now, this verse coincide with Jeremiah. Now, when we go to Jeremiah, I want everybody to look at 51 verse 7. As you will see in now that who and what is Mystery Babylon. And you're realizing that it's no mystery. This was called the New World. Many nations flooded to her, right? Because, as we see, she was the dominant power source of economics, okay? And many other things that here it is that she actually supplied. Now, when you get to Jeremiah 51 verse 7, it is clearly said, Babylon has been, now underline that, has been, okay? Has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand, right? Not saying that she is right now. Many people say, bless America, okay? Pray for America. How could you pray for anything that's got a curse by the Almighty? Okay? Because once he put his hand on it, that's it. Only he can release that from the curse, right? So here it is, church people, Catholics and Latter-day Saints, they've been taught to just pray and it'll come. No, it's on their Father Yahuwah's authority because he's punishing her. And he says, made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine. You see that? Drunken her lust, drunken her temptations, drunken her sins. Therefore, they have participated in the same events. Therefore, the nations are gone mad, it says. Nations with an S are mad. So now all those same nations that we were just talking about, many waters, that her, Mystery Babylon, have taken into her borders, have now been bargaded by many immigrants. And here it is, the terror is now on watch. But here it is, she have let the men in who are basically going to take up or lapidate up all her resources, which she won't even be able to supply for her own country. And then the invasion comes. Once they know that she cannot give anything out no more, no food, no nothing, that's when the invasion comes, okay? And here it is, the weaponry of the military, as we read earlier, and here it is, have already been decimated. So here it is, that's because they've been giving it away to Ukraine. America has influenced the other nations of the earth to partake in her fornications. That's right. They are drunk with the wine of her fornications. They are filled with the Yah's wrath as they partake in America's fornication, which is adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, and etc. And also idol worship, worshiping things. Here it is, outside the contrary to Yahweh, Yahweh laws and commandments. Many people are saying that, oh, I don't need to keep the laws, the statutes. Who told you that? Because most likely they got that from out of a church somewhere. And they allowed themselves to believe that they don't have to fulfill no laws, no statutes. But we're clearly seeing that Father Yah is coming to punish those idiots because they don't understand how to pick up a Bible to read it, right? And he clearly says, these people are outside and contrary. That's right. They're not running to Yah, they're running away. And this is called, here it is, fallen, the fallen. That's right. They are the fallen. America is steeped in the Masonic heritage with the Masonic and Satanic idols and symbols all over the land. from the Statue of Liberty to the dollar bill. Just look. You might have seen all of this on YouTube. That's right, brothers and sisters. Not only are the many provisions, here it is, spreading across the world. That's right. But the kings of other nations have also been negotiating their own treaties with the fallen and Satan. So here it is. The same officials that everyone, or same electives that everyone put into office, really have a fellowship with the devil and demonic forces behind the scene. Because here it is, they are not truly pushing 100,000% for the true justice for America. Because if they were, it'd be a better place. People wouldn't be dying every day. Drug heads wouldn't be sleeping and outside on corners and homeless populations. Okay. And now we are seeing Yah's judgment poured upon her. And we know that here it is. Not only are the many perversions spreading across the world, but we also see the Christian nations, or what were considered at one time to be Christian nations, have turned their backs on faith in of Yahweh and have climbed into the bed with devil. This gives him access and authority to rule over these people who are nations from different nations. And he's overtaken them all as he prepares to come to earth as anti-Yah. Even the Gentile nations have secretly gotten involved with the greed of having their own technologies. This is why NASA was created. Okay, they're creating chips now for themselves. And they created many of the bio devices that have been tested on people against their will. Okay, and he says here, so he carried me away, and this is verse 3, Revelation chapter 17. He carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman seated, right, up on a scarlet colored beast, full of the names of blasphemous, right, having 7 heads and 10 horns. This verse 3. The woman is sitting on the beast, who she's dominating the republic, red colored beast. So red colored beast means this person is coming from a republic background. This next elected, the man of prediction, okay, who's supposed to be the anti-Yahuwah, okay? And here it is the beast himself, because the dragon gives his power to him, right? So now we're seeing that clearly she's dominating the red colored beast, which represents republic, because they are red, right? Republicans are in the red. That is full of names of blasphemous and has 7 heads and 10 horns. So not only is this person going to be listening to, here it is, 7 heads, and here it is, 10 horns. Because here it is, the 7 heads would control the 10 horns. That's right. Which would be nations under it. Now realize the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits, or sitteth, as revealed further down in verse 9. Now when we get down to verse 9, what do we say here? Watch this. Revelation 17, verse 9, what do it say? It says, here is the mind that has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits, right? Right? So now when you see, she is already handpicking her nations that's going to run with her around the election time, right? To help her bring in peace and security, right? Through this man of prediction who is the beast, who gets power from the dragon, who is in the UN right now, right? And been there for over the past 9 some years. So here it is. Now we know that here it is, the term mountains is symbolism. Mountains are symbolism. And it can refer to a large mass, right? Or a political authority. That's right. She sits in authority over 7 mountains or land masses. Didn't I just say that? The 7 continents, here it is. The final is Rome. Here it is. The finale is the great empire of the earth. Will rule, here it is, the economics, which was referred to Revelation chapter 13. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13, where the entire world must join the beast economic policy. Now, we just did the plans of the beast. So go and check out alert warning, because it will allow you to see exactly what this beast is going to do when he comes into office, right? And here it is. By a breakout rioting of nations, though. See that? Because it's going to be the refusal angle of them being put out, which they're going to resist. And here it is. The wall is still not built or finished. There's gaps everywhere. So now when we look, join the beast, it's going to make you join the beast economic policy that originated out of Babylon or out of the United Nations that dominates and rules over the continents of the earth. Now, the UN is the dragon. It rules the whole earth, and it can give power to beasts, right? Now, we see that horns are symbolic or symbolism of leaders. It could be signifying a 10-nation confederacy. That's right. America is in alignment with a 10-leader or a council that rules and dominates. That's right. We have also seen where the United Nations has divided the whole world up into 10 spheres and planned for a leader to be ahead of each sphere. Still yet, Babylon sits on top of the UN, dominates. Babylon the whore dominates the beast and his 7 heads and 10 horns. See? So this elective man, this man coming into prediction, will be controlled by a counselor. Didn't I say that earlier? So here it is. It is clear, precept on precept information, allowing you to see line for line for understanding, for wisdom and knowledge, right? And the woman was arrayed in what? Purple and scarlet and decked in gold and precious stones, pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornications. There go fornication. Because she have got into bed with many nations who she wasn't married to. And that's why we see that in verse 4, right? They worship the dragon because he gave his authority to the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him, right? So now what did Matthew's 24 verse 4 says? First thing, make sure no one deceives you, right? Make sure no one's in somebody's book. Make sure no one trick you, right? So now, why hear the intelligent voices Israelite, your brother Israel, Yeshua, Yah, is able to allow you to see the truth with no tricks, right? Because I'm not here to trick you. I'm here to help receive you, wake you up, give you the balance, and help you eat the food that Yahuwah wants you to eat so you can become strong and be ready for giving up this flesh. Now realize, this is all symbolic, right? And here it is. We have seen that here it is. In the last days, red represents a false Hebrew. the Israeli Jews. The ism, when you see ism, write this down, everybody. Ism, which is ISMS, because you might heard of people say, I'm Jewish. That's the ish. So here it is. Ish means not accurately saying you are, but referring that you is, but really are not. You're something else. Ish, right? Such as communist, socialism, niche, and you see, so now this ish, gold and jewelry signifies her wealth, right? The woman is seen as royalty. Everybody trusts and respect America, right? What does royalty have? Royalty have wealth, power, right? Authority, and she contains Israeli Jewish, right? Or one or other issues in her borders or in her country. John even describes having a golden cup in her hand, right? Which is a trademark of statue or liberty. Because before there was a torch, there was a cup, okay? They removed the cup over time when they refurbished the Statue of Liberty, and then they put a light bearer in her hand, okay? So now research that and realize that that is a trademark to the Statue of Liberty, which was originally designed to hold a cup, but was changed to hold a torch, right? Instead to be a light in the harbor for ships to navigate, she became a cup. And here it is, a term is for judgment. So the cup is her judgment because Yah says, I'm going to fill her cup with judgment, right? So now it all makes sense in the precept why Yah says, I will fill up her cup, give her the same wrath that she gave others, right? Bring her into captivity, just as she had taken others into captivity, right? The so-called African American, right? And many other sets of people. But here it is, mainly the Hebrew African American. But now you got to understand that cup is symbolish. So here it is. We are seeing that clearly. It's saying that light, that cup, now is a torch. Instead, here it is, meaning judgment. The term abominations mean moral or physical pollution. It is also just another term for sin. Abominations are sins. So when you look up the word abominations, everybody, you will see that it refers to sin. Fornication means impurity. So when you see fornication, like we said, sexual immorality. So here it is, it's impurity. And here it is, or idolatry. Idolatry in her relationship is with Satan. So she's idol worshiping, which is to worship another, which is now Satan. So that's her other sin, right? So now we're seeing she's been stacking up these sins on herself. And we know this because Yah has allowed us to see fornication have proved that it has been in secret societies, it has been used in alien movies, and also it came about from the fallen angels. America has many idolatries, right? They worship many deities, crucifixes, rosary beads, Muslim Quran, China Buddha. Okay, so why is all nations now doing these things, right? You have to ask the question. Because they don't know, or they ain't never been told the truth. But here it is. This is the last generation, and Yah says the last generation would know my name, and they would know the truth about her. And he says, and up on her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth, in verse 5, as we see here. And it clearly here in my Amplified, a mouth speaking great things and blasphemous was given to him, It didn't say her, it said him. Authority to make war for 42 months was given to him. So I'm telling you, everybody, 25, 26, 27. That's it. That's it. Anybody that's actually thinking that anything going to happen or go on but beyond that is basically out of date and out of character, because you haven't been nowhere near a Bible to see this alert news brief broadcast. It's just like when a storm coming down the south of Mississippi somewhere. People don't know it's coming. It just come out of the clouds and just rip your house right up and throw y'all everywhere. So y'all saying you need to be alert. You need to realize what's about to happen. You need to start counting down. And you need to quit having children. Men want more babies. Women want more babies. Y'all need to slow that down for real. Cut it off. Throw it out. Because that shouldn't be the point and issue right now. Point and issue should be getting yourself together, making sure your family is tight, making sure everyone is where they need to be right now. You see what I'm saying? And making sure you have the proper needs of everything you're going to need to hold yourself as long as you can hold yourself out. Because, my father says you must persevere, endure to the end, right? So that means you got to make provisions. You got to start getting yourself organized spiritually first before you can start working on the physical things of what you might need: water, food, clothes, and all of that. Generator, okay? So something to think about: gas, okay? That means not spending your money, but saving your money. Because if you're spending your money, then you're not going to be ready, especially not knowing this information. And then it's going to catch you out of surprise. And then here it is. This could have been something you knew ahead of time, before, right? So your brother, your friend, Yisrael Yashambaya is here to help, here to give guidance, to help you out with your walk in faith, to give you something different. Because here it is. Yah says we're on his body and we all function with something, different parts of him, right? So here it is. I'm not here to badger or to discriminate. I'm here to give you the truth, here to show you the news today before it airs tomorrow. That's right. So now, many brothers and sisters have come to us, intelligent voices, Israelites, and have received things to jumpstart their back returning to my Father, Yahuwah, Yahweh Shah, Yahuwah. So now understand that what you're seeing here is Mystery Babylon, which is not a mystery no more. Because what I'm revealing to you is allowing you to walk right through your Bible and see exactly what I'm talking about. And it shouldn't actually leave no understanding, but here it is, or misunderstanding. But it will leave an understanding. So now as we see in verse 5, it clearly says, here it is, also know the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. The term mystery always seems to have an occultic connotations to it, or it can mean a secret, right? In instance, I think we can let it speak for itself, right, everybody? Since in regards to the satanic written Babylon, that is a mystery, but not no more. In regards to the occult, even that it operates secretly, although getting more out of control and in the open through satanic secret societies that worship the devil, not to mention the shadow of government that operates behind the scenes in an alliance with Lucifer and his forces. In other words, mystery or occultic Babylon the Great The term harlots is another term used for prostitute, a pornograph. These kinds of terms are almost used in regards to religious terms. I have seen in the Bible where the Hebrews use the terms such as prostitution, right? For those who prostitute the Bible. That's right, because you got many false evangelists, Catholics, who are Christians, who are basically false, and they are prostituting the book basically for their own gain, trying to use it when they feel like it's a genie in a lamp. They just rub it 3 times, ask for their wishes, and go about their business without the love for the help. But understand, it has a religious and sexual meaning, but in the instance, right, I am led to believe mostly by my Father Yah spirit. This is a religious one. America, the mother of prostitutes, the mother of all those who prostitute the word of Yah or Yahweh Shai. Some of you cannot fathom the idea that America is this evil. You hold this country in high esteem with all of its pastors and religious leaders, your churches, radio, and television networks that seemingly teach and preach his word about him to the world. But once you get away from the religious programming and start seeking him for the truth, I tell you, everybody, my brothers and sisters, you will realize how evil our religious system is and how this false doctrine with so many denominations that most of our religion leaders and churches teach today are leading people to the pit of hell. That's right. And not to the Almighty himself, Yahweh Shai. And until you do, you will not understand the significance of this verse. These prostitutes are the false prophets and the false shepherds. That's right. Leading this country. I'm talking about T.D. Jakes, okay, and many others. Kurt Franklin, many others. You heard what he said in his lyrics. The son of the Most High of Hawashah gonna bow down to the goat. Yeah, right. When you gonna see that? Never. So for a man to say that and supposed to be a Christian, you can tell what people's motives are, right? He's prostituting the word, and he's gonna pay for that. That's right. He's gonna pay for it because they're leading people to the pit of hell, I tell you, instead of to my Father Yahweh Shai. They are preaching a false gospel, everybody, and a different one than the one came as with Yahweh Shai. My name, he says, by my name I am, but they know me not. It is that simple. Amen. And if this isn't enough to prove to you that this entire passage of scripture is talking about America, read the book of America, the Babylonian, by R.A. Combes, Cobbmbes, as he goes into an in-depth study on the Masonic Statue of Liberty, a representation of the goddess as a Ktar that alone fulfills all the identified characteristics of this Babylon of the future. It will shock you to learn that the founding of this country, from the start, it had its roots in the occult origins. Not to mention the layout of Washington, D.C., right? That many can Google today and see. The Capitol Temple of D.C., dedicated to the goddess Ishtar when constructed. And then it clearly says in verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, with the blood of the saints, with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. This is what John said in verse 6, right? So now here it is. America is intoxicated, drunken with the blood of saints. That means here it is. It had killed everything that is good out of it. And you thought this was a religionist nation. Things are going to change, everybody, my brothers and sisters. This is what your brother Israel Yashambaya is saying. Through martial law and through targeting of the elect and through the Patriot Act 1 and 2, tens of thousands, even millions will be killed and become murdered for the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, not Jesus. Okay? Although they're screaming Jesus, you're going to see something. But then there'll be food later in the 42 months, right? With the Antichrist, anti-Yahweh. Now, here's some more facts. Since the 1980s, under Operation Rex, government has built internment camps across the country to hold resistors of the New World Order. Now, we got the whole list of every camp that they done refurbished, right? Because here it is. It was supposed to be privately signed, but some and many brothers and sisters was able to get a copy out of the building of the government and able to show us what they were doing 30 years ago when they first started out, refurbishing all of these old prison camps and all these World War II camps and World War I camps, and also self-converting Walmarts into railroad cars, which we have the whole list of everything, every address. And, you know, people can actually drive up and go look to see if we're actually telling you the truth, which we always is, because we do not release videos with just garbage coming from somebody else. We get our information directly from our Father. So here it is. What we do, we type up and we release this material broadcast by Intelligent Voices Israelites. So you can know that our sources came directly from here. Nothing else we are doing actually on my Father's body is going to actually be doing something that somebody is already doing. So that's what it is. So now as we see, since 1980 now, okay, under Operation Rex, government has built these internment camps, all those it deems through their massive profiling over years. Okay, that's who's going to be put in those. Okay, who will resist the rule of the New World Order? This fulfills Jeremiah's prophecy, right, about the last nation building internment camps and slaughtering millions of its own people. It's in the Bible. I'm going to show you today. That's right. This whole time. We're going to show you today. And now, as you see, when disasters strike, here it is. This is another fact point. When disaster strikes or starts to strike, countries and cities will start to go under martial law. So now you see all these immigrants that we got all through New York and all over the place, right? So you know your brother Israel Shambaya is not lying to you, because this is the plan. That's why I tell everybody who come across our video, go see alert first, because that's going to catch you up right to speed to what's about to happen. But if you want to get yourself delivered, you might want to start with our very first video and work your way down. But here it is. Understand that this is by the government, right? Now, here it is. You got to wonder, why they're letting all these immigrants into America from Canada, from southern brothers, from the north, from the east to the west. You feel me? So now we are understanding that this is a plan set up by Yahweh Shai. And here it is. The devil is taking this plan and running with it, because here it is. He know he got a limited time. So now here it is. It says, starting to go into under martial law, they will implement their plans of eliminating the 144,000 and the returning Christian sect from all different walks of the nation, the patriots, who they have profiled and listed as being likely resistors of the New World Order, How did they compile their list? You might be asking. Hold on, I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm going to bring this. How is because, here it is. Watch this. Church records of members. Everybody that say they go to church, they sign up and they put all their information, right? Who are required to give the state's list of all those who tied to them or give them money. So your name is forwarded to the UN. And here it is. You're paying allegiance to the devil, helping him build his kingdom, right? So now as we see this here, it is clearly that also varies from other ways. Simply put, the spy on people. They spy on what you read, okay? What websites you visit, what groups you belong to, right? This is spying, right? And Yah says in the last days, a nation would do this to their people, right? Who are doing that? Now you know the mystery ain't a mystery. It's America, right? It says they spy on what you read, right? They even record your phone conversations and read your emails. Over the years, the NSA and the FBI has compiled records on just about every person in the United States. Trust me, brothers and sisters. These records have been compiled, here it is, to extermination lists. That's right, extermination lists. And have you targeted by your social security number. That's right. If you didn't catch 5 years ago, everybody, when the government released their list of all of these determined counts, they also have released a color code that means for the sectors of different parts of the country. Because here it is, once they got everything in play, this is basically called end game. So when end game happens, it's going to fall under color codes, okay? Now, do you realize the real reason for roadblocks, right? Have you ever thought of that, everybody? Whenever you see an accident or you see them slowing down the street or the roads, on the highways, when they want to target those on the red list, this is what's going to happen. These people that's on the red list will immediately be exterminated, okay? So if you get a red tag on your name, your social security name, basically, this is basically already exempting you because you are to be immediately, when they come to your house or to your door, wherever you are, they will not be there to talk. And you will actually see the dilemma or, where the physical character of these JAME members who are foreigners and mercenaries from all different countries and walks of the world, who will come in to clean up, which they call the unrighteous mess. So here it is. They compiled extermination lists. And now here it is. When you see roadblocks, this is telling you they will set up roadblocks to find them. When they stop your car, they will run your social security number, okay, to see if you are on any of those lists, right? And if you're not, you are to arrest it, okay? And here it is. If you're not on any of those lists, there are only 3 lists, everybody. So I hope you take note and write this down. Because when the internet goes off, no one's going to be actually being able to tell anyone anything else, right? Power, everything, right? It's going to happen fast. So now write this down. There are 3 lists that the government have now sealed into the right time. But here at Intelligent Voices Israelites, your friend, your brother, Yisrael, your Shambaya is going to give you the truth so you can have it. So this list comes with a color, 3 colors. One is red, one is blue, one is green, And they say they just came out with another one, which is yellow. So there's 4 now. Before there was only 3 color codes. Now they just added a 4th one, which is yellow. And I'm going to explain all this to you, okay? Now, due to the friends and family members of us working in the military and having many people who had high ranks, who had access to different files and communication, NSA records, this is how we know exactly how we've been telling everybody things would start. And many have been taken from us back in the day before our first YouTube was stolen. We were the first out releasing all about the determined camps and everything about that. And many people didn't believe us, but then here it is. It started popping up with Walmarts and everything. But here it is, not to just be boasting or bragging, because I'm not. I'm just letting you know we were the first ever up on YouTube, shedding the light of information on even the casket liners, okay, back in the day. But now here it is. My father has told us to come back, re-put back up, and now protect. Since we've been running, we've been pretty good. And here it is, haven't lost anything, but here it is. People have been gaining everything because this information is valuable. Because here it is, when it hit, it's going to take people while they sleep in their beds, okay? And just imagine trying to wake up out your bed if you're being attacked, okay? So just keep that in mind. But back to the color codes. There's 4 now. They added a yellow one. Those on the red list are to be arrested, okay? So write this down, everyone. If you're on the red list, you are to be arrested immediately and taken to an extermination facility immediately, okay? That's why they got these train cars now for Walmart. Walmart shut down most of their stores, and we had people there too working for Walmart that was higher up and also was able to get information to find out about the underbuilding of these train cars that would be taking people on the ground to their doom. So now here it is. Red, that means that you'll be executed right away, taken to extermination facilities immediately. No questions asked. Those on the blue list, now going to the next color, blue, are taken to a holding camps. All right. So you got the determined camps and you got the holding camps. So those that will, when they run your social security number and it comes back with a blue dot, you will be taking, you and your family or whoever, even kids will be separated from their parents on stuff like that. But that's another topic that I'll be talking about later. But here it is. This blue will allow you to be taken to a holding camp where they will be processed for extermination. Why they say process is because here it is. They're going to give these people the opportunity, which is probably 11 days, to decide would they join the New World Government or in one world religion or be considered a terrorist. Okay, that's how they're gonna play it. So now here it is. That person gonna have to make up their mind. Who do they serve, Yahuwah or the devil? And this is why it's important. Everybody must return to the Israelites that are teaching, learn what they know, so you can prepare yourself. Because if you don't, you a dummy. I'm just telling you. I'll hold no words back. You can ask all my brothers who teach around YouTube. Yisrael Yashambaya, just like when he started, he have never ended, okay? So you got to realize I'm going to come straight at you with the truth. That's why this channel has been built by my wife, Yisrael Yamakaya, and here it is, allowing her husband to come and fulfill my father's prophecies to tell you all what is about to happen to you. So now, understand, this color blue, right, is giving you an opportunity to make up your mind. Who would you serve, right? Be called a traitor or terrorist or become a one world idiot. So now, Those on the blue list are taken there. Those on the green list are considered. Now we're going to color green. Are considered to be NWO friendly. So if your name come up and they run your Social Security and it is green, that means you are considered to be NWO, New World Order friendly. That means you have no problem with what they're doing. You'll believe in anything they want you just to keep yourself from dying. But the Bible says those who try to save their life will lose their life. But he means eternal life. You will lose it. You are forfeited. So don't do that. So when we actually understand now and see the green list is friendlies and not a threat. Now the satanic New World Order crowd fully intends on killing up to 2,844,000. Here it is, million Americans to establish their control here in America without the hassles from possible resistors, and they have the facilities and capabilities to do so. And they did it with all taxpayers' money and under the noses of the people, brothers and sisters. So you got to realize that's what I said earlier, way earlier. People are funding satanic occults unknowingly. Every time you pay taxes or every time you go to a 501(c) church, you are paying the devil, okay? Because it's tax-free for him. And all of that goes right to him. And he divvies it out to his false prophets however he may. But here it is. Ain't nothing false here with Intelligent Voice of the Israelites. We are not afraid of none of that, right? So here it is. You can always be reassured that when you come in here, we ain't holding nothing back. What we have when we get it is actual facts. You can test it like a pawn shop on gold. That's how worthy this information here is. So if you haven't checked with anybody else, you need to check with them because they'll let you know. Yeah, them brothers, the IVI, they are on time. In Arizona, oh yeah, that assembly is on time because we don't call ourselves a camp. We call ourselves assembly. Okay. So now realize, brothers and sisters, they want to take out 2,844,000. Now that means 144,000 is in Revelation, right? Of the elect. And then there's only, here it is, like 6 or 8 billion people in the whole world. So when you subtract that out of the 1/3, you come up with a number that only people that would be saved, this is the number of all the people that would be saved. 2,844,000 people. That is for the kingdom that is to come. And as you've seen, it's measured 1,500 miles long on all sides, and it's in a complete square. So now you got to realize, yeah, that's why the number is so low, because the kingdom that is to come is only going to be for that certain number of people. All evil, the devil, demons, all of them will be completely annihilated. Okay? So now realize, fully intend on killing up that many of people. They're controlled here in America without the hassle. So now, when it says John wondered, everybody, right, at her, you see that in the book. John wondered at her, right, with great admiration. He admired her, right? It is not that he was impressed, but I will tell you, he was flabbergasted. Okay, that's what John was saying. I'm flabbergasted that this woman will be able to destroy a whole world. Wow. So now here it is. In the lyrical Greek translation, it reads, I was astonished. Now, that's many other translations, brother. Now here it is. I was astonished beyond astonishment, right? He is disgusted at the ability or the scope or the depth of this woman who sits on many waters, who have many flood to her, which the saints will be murdered in America. That's right. Then I say America have never, ever had a war in her borders, ever. Every other country that went to war with somebody and therefore felt the repercussions of that war. But there have never, ever, 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 ever been a war in America where it led to bombing and ships and military personnel and, hunting down insurgents and, to shoot them up and, or just seeing a complete outbreak of terrorism in her that create martial law. She ain't never been through that. So if a country ain't never been through that, how, when it happened overnight, would they be prepared to be ready if they ain't reading a book of the historical facts called the Bible, or allowing it to be taught to them from an Israelite who is from the 144,000, who is from every tribe of Judah? Okay. So, I mean, you got to actually ask yourself that. So here it is. You say, now clearly an angel said unto me, verse 7, Revelations, same chapter, y'all, 17. Wherefore does thy marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast. So now here it is. The angel says, that one angel said, I'm going to tell you, John, what is of the mystery of the woman and of her beast that carries her, right? Because the beast is carrying the woman, which is the Statue of Liberty, right? Which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns, which we see in verse chapter 7. In the previous verse, though, it said the woman sits on the beast, right? Right? In this one, it says the beast carries her. Pretty much, it means the same thing, everybody. Okay? Picture a horse and its rider. The beast that you saw was and is not shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. See that? From hell. And go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder. Here it is, be amazed. Whose names are not written in the book of life, right? They're going to flock to this man from the foundations of the world when they behold the beast. That was and is not and yet is, as we see in verse 8, Revelation 17, right? Now understand, this verse is a verb nightmare, everybody. It goes back and forth between the past, the present, and the future. Now understand, the beast is going to come out of the bottomless pit, right? You don't read that, you see that, which is the abyss, right? Which is a space. Now understand, go to one of our videos when you've realized what constitutes a day. Because here it is, many people think a full day is 24 hours. And that is inaccurate, because we have pointed out in the Bible that 24 hours is not in a day. So people got to realize, man, have taught you the wrong way in school and in their grammar books. But here it is, they have given you false information because the Bible says something totally different, right? And we don't point that out. So now here it is. It's a verbal nightmare. It goes back and forth between the past, the present, and the future. The beast is going to come out of the bottomless pit, which is the abyss, and which is a space. And here it is. Angels. Don't NASA go up to the moon on a regular basis? That's space. Because we don't prove no one can leave and go out to outer space, because there's a firmament wrapped around the earth. And the sun and the moon is within our firmament. It's not outside in space, right? So now understand, who are not Yahweh's will fall into the deception and the lies that this false angel speaks, and they will worship him. Please research books, the false prophet and the Nasara agenda, everybody. And whatever name he uses that comes as the false prophet, he will come proclaiming he is the Messiah. or whatever prophet each religion in the world is waiting on to come, he would come back as. He would deceive them all. When the anti-Yah comes, he will come as Yah the Father, the false prophet, or here it is, or a leader. So here it is. He will deceive the world into, though, worshiping the anti-Yahuwah, or the one world religion priest, which would be the Pope. And here is the mind which has wisdom, it says in verse 9. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. Verse 9. When you go there, let's go. You can see that clear as day. Revelation chapter 13, verse 8. I know I said 17, but yeah, Revelation 13, verse 8. Allow all who dwell on the earth will worship him, everyone whose name has not been written from the foundation of the world in the book of life of the Lamb who has been killed. Wow. Understand that. Okay, so we already know, right, brothers and sisters? This from the previous verse, the 7 heads of the beast are the 7 mountains, right? This one verse is what throws most people off into thinking it is referring to the Vatican. The area of the Vatican, though, is surrounded by 7 hills. Do your research. Do the Y international search. Surrounded by 7 hills, not mountains. That's right. The Vatican is surrounded by 7 hills, not mountains. So I want y'all to write that down and take a keynote of, because many people have gotten that confused between the Vatican, between hills and mountains. There are no mountains in Rome. Okay? There ain't no mountains in Rome. If you were to take the literal test, right? In instance, it is symbolic, though, because we are being told the woman sitteth or is sitting on the beast that has authority over the entire world, all 7 continents, right? So you see where I'm going with this, everyone? So now understand something, or here it is, no previous empire has ever, here it is, accomplished, right? Also, the term beast is a masculine word. It is referring to a person, my brother and my sisters. So when you look up, that's why I have everybody download the dictionary, Marlin Dictionary. So therefore, you can see that you also have to look at certain words, because we all know the Bible has been retranslated so many times, but through the biblical and spiritual sense of Yahweh Shah, we are able to actually be fulfilling the gospels by him in willing the body, because here it is, we bear witness to the same truth that you're listening to. So now understand that 7 mountains, okay? Now we know this one verse, it always throws people off. The woman rides the beast, her power is unchallenged. She's in control of this beast, right? And then we see the woman is a nation, right? Because we prove nation or seated on many waters means nations or nation. And then we also see what kind of power. And we also see the economics, the military, and her influence is her power. Okay, that's her superpower. Her superpower is having the economic locked, the military locked, and the influence locked. Okay, she wants to be a standalone. Didn't she say that in Revelation? I stand alone as queen, right? I am no widower. Everyone who say they're a Christian heard that verse, right? So, but they haven't understood it, why it was said. So now understand that in there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet to come, right? Because you got Biden, and here you got 1 that's still to come. And when he comes, he must continue a short space or a short time. So that's where we get the 42 months for Halil or the devil. Because here it is, they demonic forces who are false prophets. This is also talking about them as well. And the beast that was and is not and is a 8, here it is, king over, and here it is, others, and yet come, and having not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time. So now it says the 7th. The 8th is the 7th. That's right. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, right, of the 7th. So Biden, and then now you're looking at Trump, and goes into prediction. Verses 7 and verse 11, as it clearly says in the book. If anyone is going into captivity, he will go into captivity. If anyone is to be killed with, here it is, the word, he must be killed. Here is the endurance of the faith of the saints. I saw another beast. See, he said, I saw another beast. So we are not talking about one beast. We're talking about multiple beasts. And here it is, the final beast. I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb. Ain't Trump been showing the Bible? And he spoke like a what? A dragon, right? So now here it is. It says these 7 kings represent 7 empires of the past and the present, as in relating to John's time, right? Which is approximately 90 AD. Write that down, brothers. 90 AD. Sometime towards the end of that century, some put John's book anywhere between 78 to 98 AD. Okay. The ruling empire of the past, as we know, brothers and sisters, were Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, ancient Babylon, Persia, and Greece. At the time John was ruling, here it is, at the time John, the ruling empire was Rome. That's right. At that time, it was Rome, right? So what is the 7 ruling empire, though? The beast is from the 7, right? And because of the 8, which is to come, I believe the New World Order is the 7th, right? It has to be. And then here it is, as it says, the New World Order is being dominated and run by America, right? The beast comes out of the 7th great ruling empire, as we read, right? America is the only superpower today because ancient Babylon fell, right? Time of Alexander the Great and all that, right? So now when we see this, notice the beast is a king, right? Or a ruling chief of a nation. It is the anti-Yahweh that comes from the last great ruling empire, right? On the earth, because the word have told us that here it is, the beast and the dragon and the false prophet is only going to have a short time. It clearly said 42 months, right? And it clearly allowed us to see Trump's kingdom, right? Because right here it says, and the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings, which have received no kingdoms as of yet. So that means the man of prediction ain't here yet to assign these kings, right? But receive power as kings for 1 hour with the beast. So that 1 year international peace agreement will be a shiesty peace agreement because it's already been signed, but it's just been put on hold. But now we can see the wars have already done started. So here it is. Trump kingdom comes into a war, right? And also his word starts the war by trying to remove the immigrants that have come into this country, who are really ISIL and terrorists and makeshift terrorists. They shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, and he is Yahweh Shah. Yahweh, Almighty Yahweh, chosen. And here it is, and they that are with him are called chosen, faithful. in verse 12 through 14. The 10 horns are 10 kings who receive power as kings for a short time. Then I say that with the beast. Now, the Greek word is Basileus. The Greek word is Basileus. Doesn't always refer to king in particular, but to leaders. That's what that means. When you look it up in the dictionary, Basileus is meaning leader. They have no kingdom as of yet. In other words, they are representatives or ambassadors from other countries, right? Don't they have the G summit meeting all the time, right? And the UN meeting, who becomes appointed by the beast as the country's kings or rulers. So they're going to appoint Trump, okay, to rule, to be a one world government. So what happened to the 10 countries previous, though, you may ask? It doesn't say, though, but here it is. They are replaced by the new ones. Since they have no kingdoms, right? They are appointed as interns or leaders, here it is, over a particular area, not a country, but just an area. And this is where the homegrown terrorism come in, makeshift gangs and all of that, right? So now we are seeing, here it is, interns, right? So here it is. They are representatives of the beast. In other words, the beast creates a council of 10 people. And each of these people becomes a representative for him over a particular country, right? With the UN, who has on paper already divided the world up into 10 areas, right? Each, because a leader or a representative of one of these areas will be ruling with this man a prediction for 1 year, for one peace and security year that will fail at the end, would be broken in the middle. Okay, now realize, so now if that be broken, right, then comes to mind. The passage says these kings all have one mind and gives their power to the beast. This means they are all in agreement with each other and give their power and strength to the beast. They form an alliance. They give him control, or here it is, feel or full support of their militaries, backings, and financial backings. So we have 10 people who are awarded control of 10 countries, and then they give that country's military and full support to the anti-Yahuwah, the beast. Doesn't make sense, doesn't it? It doesn't make sense, does it? And here it is. But what really happens is exactly what we're explaining here, the Intelligent Voices Israelites. And what do all these geniuses do? They all make war with the Lamb, the real Messiah, Yahuwah, or Yahweh. And they proclaim war on the sons of Yah. Okay? These are the saints, the elect, and the 1/3. What's wrong? Not too bright, brothers and sisters. They are not too bright. Now, as I read in verse 15, it says, and he said unto me, the waters which you saw where the horse sit are peoples, multitudes, and nations, and tongues. Now, then Yahweh said, I'm going to bring the 1/3 through the fire. So now you understand why that's there in verse 15. And then in verse 16 as well. Because it's going to be about a choice people have to make. Either the determined camps or the choice camp. That's all they're giving you. So here it is. The angel is telling John that the waters where the horse sits contains people of all nations, race, and languages. These people are in the land, in other words, where the whore rules from. See that? They're in the land where the whore rules from. So here it is. The immigrants ain't going to another country. They came to America, right? So it's clear that they came in different races, different languages, and they represent a nation of where they come from, right? Some from Sudan, Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Nigeria, Congo, Nicaragua, all over. And also Canada. And also southern border, Colombia, and all through there, right? In other words, where the whore rules contains people, like I say, of all races and languages, everybody. It contains immigrants from around the world. Now, what country just got hit with a whole mess load of immigrants, right? Now you see that's in verse 15, chapter 13, right? And this was being shown to John over 2,500 years ago. So now we like 5,000 years ago. So over that, it contains immigrants from around the world. America is the only nation in the world ever referred to, I say, as a melting pot for exiles and immigrants, right? And the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, or the pornographic, right? Pornographic, and shall make her desolate and naked. Ain't these immigrants sucking up all the resources, right? I'm telling you the truth. It's right there in the Bible. So now it says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, or eat her resources, and burn her up with fire. Because here it is, she ain't going to be able to supply her people. Fire represent upset, oppressed, okay? For Yah has put in her heart to fulfill his will, to agree and give their kingdoms unto the beast, until the words of Yah shall be fulfilled, until it's preached throughout the whole world, right? In verse 16 and 17. So, in that no one will be able to buy or sell unless he or she has that mark, which is the name of the beast, right? So you see that. Now, okay, now remember, the beast is a person. He's masculine tense. The whore is a nation, right? Remember that. The beast comes out of a nation, right? Remember that. Here's from the nation itself. He's from this nation himself, I said. He is from this nation himself. He goes and makes a 10-nation alliance to destroy his own nation. So now, everybody, you have to understand that here it is. We're not playing a game here. We're not looking for fame and glory and riches on here. We're here to try to help as many people as possible know what we didn't know before to now know, because we've been heavily possessed by the Spirit of Yeshua, taking him full-heartedly into our heart. And he shows you. And here it is. He sent us to wake up the rest of the remnant so they can understand what's about to happen, so they can slow down and quit thinking that world finna just go on. You can give up that matter. You need to start instructing your children. You need to start instructing yourself. And you need to start instructing anyone else around you with the knowledge that you receive from us here at Intelligent Voices Israelites, because we will and always give truth and doctrine. So now, why? Because he's a traitor. Why would he do this? Because he's a traitor. He's subverted, and he has become the leader or the president. So he can do exactly what he's going to do and turn around and destroy it, right? He rises to political authority through America as president of the United States. No doubt, then makes an agreement and alliance with the heads of 10 other countries to destroy his own country. Remember, the woman nation rides the beast. She controls him. He hates her, that nation. And he so burns with her fire, right? Doesn't make sense, does it? But that's exactly what's going to happen, everybody, my brothers and sisters. As president, he makes her desolate and naked. He makes her desolate through the murder of thousands, perhaps millions of the saints or those who believe with the faith of the Bible. Then pulls her defenses down so she can be attacked and destroyed. See that? Because he's going to have power over all military. So now understand, everybody, the false savior. He's going to be a false savior as president by someone else. Now, when we see this, we see in chapter 13 what we have read, the anti-Yahweh in his position of authority. And we also understand that Yah returning to earth to build his kingdom and make all things new. And that here it is. It won't be quite a bit like this world scene. Now, I hope I have given many things out to allow you to grow into your wisdom and your walk, my Father Yahweh Shah, and to therefore understand that the truth is before you. All of this stuff has been well planned, everybody, in advance. In fact, it is America's taxpayers' money, the illegal sales of drugs, child pornography, that has funded not only the preparation in the coming war on us saints, Israelites. America is the worst of worst. And that's why the Father says, come out of her. He know everybody can't leave America, but he know you can leave the mindset of America by returning to your Bible and associating yourself with people that love scripture, love going to be in the kingdom of heaven as a citizen, Israelite. No so-called anything. From what I have seen, when he returns, he is at odds with person. This is Trump, who won the election over him. Who was that? Biden. That last term as president of the United States. They did not get along. If he stays in America, what he does when he comes back, he makes an alliance with the 10 other people, appoints them as leader of the countries. They are from the UN spheres, and they destroy and attack America. And the woman which you saw is a great city which reigns over the kings of the earth in verse 18, as we stated. But remember, the term city, everybody, also means nation. And it's a literal city inside of a nation, or the nation itself, right? Which refers back to New York City, because that's where the UN sits, right? And now we know, here it is, the dragon is ruling over the nations of the earth, right? Now, if not, then it will be referring to Washington, D.C., the political capital of Babylon, if it's not referring to New York, the governing center of the New World Order. I don't think the scriptures were unclear about who the last days Babylon was going to be. I don't think you could describe America any better than this. Why won't you church leaders tell you the truth? Because they are the harlots in cahoots with the devil to keep you in the dark, or just plain ignorant of what the Bible really says. If you could read over 100 prophecies describing the end times, nation, and power, and recognize it as America, why can't they? Get out of the churches and back into Yahuwah. The last days, here it is, churches, as signified by church Laodicea in Revelation chapter 3, are not of him. He is seen standing outside the door of them. In other words, He is not in them. So with that, brothers and sisters, that wraps up our amazing broadcast here at Intelligent Voices Israelites. I thank everyone for attending or coming across this information. Share it with a friend. And here it is. Set some time aside so you can be undistracted, so you can listen to this video, follow it in your pages of your Bible or your phone. And therefore, don't forget to subscribe, to make your presence known. And therefore, throw a like down, or whatever you feel you need to do. So with that said, I'm your brother Israel Shambaya. Until next time, I will come with my Father to fulfill another need. Shalom.